One of the complexities when we're healing from trauma is that when we've tried to voice our experiences of what happened to us, we were simply not heard, and a secondary trauma is almost perpetuated from this, that the people that we believed were safe to actually go to were not safe at all. And we have to carry this seemingly alone. So that can be very stressful to have. And as EFT tapping is a stress reduction tool, let's use EFT tapping to reduce some of these symptoms. So taking full responsibility for your own well-being and repeating after me. Let's begin to tap and let's go with that flow. Even though I've had many traumatic experiences, many scary experiences, and I've had to carry these experiences alone, as when I've tried to have my voice and tried to be heard, I was shut down and I was left to feel like I was all alone. And I'm open to loving and accepting myself, even though the more that I've tried to speak up, the less people want to know. And of all of these experiences where I've been disconnected from myself, trying to find connection with others is just falling on deaf ears. And I'm open to loving and accepting myself, even though of all of these experiences that I've had to go through, that connection to others, where I wanted care and love, wasn't too caring when I tried to voice some things that weren't. And I'm open to loving and accepting myself. All of these experiences, all of these harmful experiences, all of these scary experiences, all these isolating experiences, as when I've tried to have my voice and speak up that something was not right, I was made to look like the wrong one for voicing some wrong that happened to me. They may have been friends and family, or authority figures, who, when I raised a problem, saw me as the problem instead. There was definitely an issue, and the more that I raised the issue, the more I got seen as the issue. I'm better to be seen and not heard. And the message I got in return was that I was to suffer in silence, as it's a terrible inconvenience for others to hear a perception and reality than the difference of what they're substituting for their own. It's kind of like that bystander effect. Well, if I do something, I have to get involved. I don't want to do that. So I'll look the other way. Not my issue. Stop calling out for help. And it's falling on deaf ears. They might use some moral disengagement. and say to themselves, well, it's their fault for getting hurt. I'll dehumanize them. I'll diffuse any responsibility where I might have to act to acts of aggression, be it emotional or physical, against myself that is speaking up and saying this is not right, as I am not being treated right. I might even go to the people in an effort to bring sanity to insane actions and say, stop hurting me. Hey, I found this research that said you might be this way. But anyone that doesn't want responsibility for their actions, I may meet instead their reactions, because it's my fault they're that way. And why not take it out on me? Because I made them feel bad by treating me bad. Some things we just don't want to look at. So it's better to avoid, better to suffer in silence. But strangely, I don't feel better about that. I might even be met with a statement like, I'm so ungrateful. I should just move on. And I did the best that I could. 10 points. If I sought resolution for something, especially for someone that I cared about, even though they're not showing caring actions towards myself, perhaps I don't want to move on. Perhaps I want to bring awareness to some unjustifiable actions in the hope that they can get better and stop doing the harm that they did. And if this is just the best that they can do, is that the final line in the chapter? Well, that's the best that I can do, so I'll do no more. This is the best it's going to be. So you better be grateful for that. Doesn't quite make sense, does it? And how long do I have to wait for the better to get better? They can diffuse this responsibility by discharging their anger upon me and justify their actions for voicing things that were not right. Or they could take responsibility as if this is the best that they can do. Maybe they could do better by addressing things that aren't the best for everyone, including myself. And if my message from my social society or my social group is that it's better to suffer in silence, keep a stiff upper lip, just don't talk about these things. Be the bigger person. Does it work the other way? And how much empathy Must I lose for myself in order to lose for others? Because if I can't care for myself, by not being the bigger person, by accepting belittling acts against me, and to keep a stiff upper lip to the point where I'm rigid, unwell, by holding on to so much toxicity that I can't talk to others about. There's other things that I can do in silence as well. As my health slowly declines. And I might have to also come to the awareness that it's a miserable experience to go through. And those that don't want to see the reality of a person who can commit a harm against myself may be in the same company. And misery likes company. And they don't want any form of resolution from that. So it might mean my social circle may travel in the same social groups that group them into a certain category of perpetuating the harm that was done against me that I tried to speak up about. I have to consider if I want to be a part of that or seek other circles. And that can be scary. Definitely by all these signals that I've received, by those that I thought that cared. But there has been one voice, and one voice that I haven't been listening to too well, that has been wanting the best for myself. The voice of my own. And that voice definitely knows between what is right and what is wrong, and what is love and what is not. And it's been loud enough for me to hear, for me to listen, when my environment was clearly wrong. And I'm listening a little bit more to that. And I might have had a lot of trust broken, but I might start to trust myself and listen to what's right for me. Even though other parts of myself, all these voices from my environment that tell me that I should never be anything better, perhaps I can listen to what's best for myself. And in doing so, in growing that inner love, that inner compassion, that inner strength and courage to go against the grain, to no longer accept the unacceptable, I might find a new strength. And in finding a new strength for self, I might find a new strength of social groups. And those that can clearly see right from wrong and will be there for me when the wrong happens to help me feel right again. And that may be a long road. There's a lot to undo. But I do want the best for myself. And I'm grateful for every day where I don't have to accept these unacceptable ways. I'm growing in strength and power within myself. I realize the shame that I had to carry, was from those that could not carry it themselves. I'm freeing myself of these burdens. And I'm listening to myself. My voice is loved and treasured as I am in my own eyes, no matter what anyone says, in mind, body, and spirit. Taking a full breath in and out. And yes, it can be terribly invalidating to actually have your experiences and have people add their own variety of experiences to that. But once again, we don't have to look to others to justify what happened to us. We're aware of that in our body. We're aware of it in how it's affected our lives. And sometimes it's giving our own self the self-justice and to advocate for our own well-being by speaking up for ourselves. And those that don't want to hear it, I guess, also need to go into therapy and heal from these behaviors that perpetuate onto others that we have to actually heal from. So it's not acceptable, and I don't accept it at all. So time to start accepting ourselves by giving ourselves the love and attention and the care that we deserve and we should have had in the first place. So I'm Dion from Eflowtion Support Services. I offer EFT Tapping one-on-one online. So check out eflowtionsupportservices.com if you want a more in-depth experience with EFT tapping. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.